When picturing a Souls-like, another crab's treasure is not what comes to mind. This underwater adventure through a world of cartoon crabs is a far cry from the gritty dark fantasy aesthetic popular in the genre, but that helps it stand out. Even while upholding genre traditions like somber undertones and oppressive difficulty, another crab's treasure is not afraid to tout warm colors, light-hearted writing, and accessibility options in equal measure. It knows it's a cute indie Souls-like, and its efforts to excel in that space make it one to take note of. This is Fenris Wolf on behalf of Gamer Overlord. In today's video, I would be reviewing another crab's treasure, a indie Souls-like from Aggro Crab. Make sure you watch this video till the end. Whatever information I'm giving in this review, if you find it helpful and relatable, do please hit the like and the subscribe button. Make sure you click that bell icon for more regular updates, reviews, and all other stuff I am presenting in this channel. So making myself and everything else clear, let's get started. Another crab's treasure hails from Aggro Crab, the indie studio behind workplace parody roguelike Going Under, and throws players into another fantastical adventure featuring an unlikely protagonist using improvised weaponry. Kril, the hermit crab, has been forced on a treasure hunt after his prized shell is repossessed, and neither the onset of an underwater industrial revolution nor the hostile sea life is going to make that easy. In the face of looming taxes and corrupting gunk, players will need to grab their trusty fork and embark on another crab's treasure's silly Souls-like adventure across an ocean filled with trash, treasure, and a lot of crabs. Despite its plot being straightforward, another crab's treasure immerses players with a silly script and colorful cast. While another crab's treasure writing will land differently for each player, a setting this cheerful that supports soul satire, social commentary, and heads mounted on pikes must be doing something right. Another crab's treasure gameplay is an eccentric mixture of Going Under, Hollow Knight, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Running, grappling, and gliding around huge environments give it the air of a 3D platformer even while action stays the top priority. Instead, there are noticeable pauses between Kril's swings to discourage mashing, while Never Unfair feels slightly too long. Gaining and maintaining lock-on is a more pressing issue, especially with groups or fast enemies, and the camera does not make it any easier near walls. Said enemies also hit hard even by Souls standards, and the only way to survive is either by mastering tight dodge and parry timings or hiding under the shell. Comparing to Going Under's improvised weapons, the ocean in Another Crab's Treasure contains over 60 different types of junk shells, each with different attributes and sometimes an extra property like physics-based rolling. Another Crab's Treasure's threatening enemies encourage guarding by default, and shell durability leads to frequentness, tense scrambles to switch mid-combat. Shells can be as important for offense as they are for defense thanks to their shell spells. These powerful umami techniques include projectiles, counters, buffs, and more, only being limited by shell durability and umami charges refilled through melee and Hollow Knight's soul. Another Crab's Treasure also features adaptations derived from encountering the ocean's diverse wildlife. They are equally varied and can also be equipped in pairs and upgraded. Accompanied by strategies like pressuring foes into flipping or literally fishing for critical hits, Another Crab's Treasure's battles assume a pleasing open-ended form. While Another Crab's Treasure is not an open-world game, nor it is interconnected or build-heavy as some other Souls games, it's still filled with exploration and player choice. Anywhere not themed around claustrophobia or linear platforming tends to be a massive play space filled with side paths, side quests, treasure, and even bonus bosses. The first of those is even available immediately in a cheeky nod to Elden Ring's Tree Sentinel. Backtracking with later tools can yield further rewards, whether they be cosmetic capes, echoes of the Legend of Zelda's heart pieces, or other permanent upgrades, so players are encouraged to get lost in the sands between. 4 stats governing health, defense, and status resistance, melee damage, and umami damage are equipable just like Hollow Knight. Those only work with a shell present, however, and stronger ones require stat thresholds to be met. A skill tree progressed using collectible crystals further expands the player's abilities, even if locking common Souls-like features and some of Another Crab's Treasure's own mechanics behind the system may dull their impact. Layering all of them on top of shells, adaptations, combat, and platforming gives players a wealth of gameplay customization options. Speaking of which, although Another Crab's Treasures does not boast as many accessibility features as the recent Rise of the Ronin, defaulting to hard settings, players can choose from easier or story presets as well as make their own custom difficulty. And apart from options like numerical changes or keeping currency on death, there are toggles to slow the game down and give Kril an instant kill gun. No penalty exists for these, and also anyone can enjoy Another Crab's Treasure cozy vibes without its difficulty getting in the way. Another Crab's Treasure is technically a sound game running well at the highest PC settings with no serious issues. Minor fumbles like nearby mobile enemies running at a low frame rate or the first boss being briefly confused by circle strafing are excusable, and players are better equipped to escape getting stuck in geometry than the average Souls game. Where things get strange is in Another Crab's Treasure sequence breaking, as it's sometimes trivially easy to sprint, jump and glide into places the player should not. While the Soulslike genre is no stranger to cute indie entries or a sense of humor, there is nothing quite like Another Crab's Treasure on the market. It affectionately parodies many Souls games in its sands between, while executing their tropes with all the passion of a hardcore fan. Another Crab's Treasure's family-friendly face hides surprisingly savagery, but does not neglect anyone who wants the relaxed experience it teases. Even its mechanics are often recycled from other Soulsbornes, but used in novel ways, even if there are some polish missing here and there. Delving into Another Crab's Treasure will unearth a mixture of the familiar and the unknown, the perfect accomplice to its quirky journey through the deep blue sea.